A recent Gallup poll found out that over 80% of Americans would like to travel to another country, which is obviously not surprising. Of this 80%, 40% do not think that they have enough money saved up to take an international trip. While some of these people are probably correct to make such an assumption, many of them underestimate how cheap it can be to vacation in certain places. As such, this list will highlight 20 countries you can visit with less than $1,000. In this video, I will tell you the top 10 places to visit under $1,000 budget for friends. So like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our uploads. And of course, today's video is brought to you by Tripidabido.com, the premier platform for booking tours and activities in this city, and is the proud sponsor of this video. Interested in traveling, click the link in the description below. 10. Brazil. There are several countries worth visiting in South America, and several of them could be visited on a fairly affordable budget. If I had my choice of nations to visit in South America, however, I would probably choose Brazil. The entire country is supposedly beautiful, and they have enough infrastructure and experience with tourists to make staying and traveling there fairly easy. Perhaps more importantly, traveling and staying in Brazil is incredibly cheap. You could get a nice hotel room in Rio de Janeiro for about $40, and it would be even cheaper to stay in a hostel. If you need to be convinced to stay in Rio, check out the picture above. 9. Peru. For whatever reason, traveling to the rural areas of South America has been romanticized by literature and other mediums for over a century. The funniest thing about these writings is that they were often written by people who have never even been to South America. I will continue this great tradition with our next entry, because I believe that Peru is one of the best places that you could travel to for less than $1,000. One advantage that I do hold over my predecessors is that I can easily look up Peru's most popular attractions and tell you about them. The only city in Peru that attracts a lot of tourists is the capital city of Lima. 8. Nicaragua. During his term as president, Ronald Reagan said that violence has been Nicaragua's most important export to the world. While this is not necessarily fair, it does illustrate how the international community views the small Central American nation. This perception has drastic impacts for Nicaragua's economy, including its potential as a popular tourist destination. For someone who was partially responsible for Nicaragua getting to the point it is, look up Ronald Reagan and Sandinistas. Reagan did not seem very concerned about how his comments, and comments like his, would discourage tourists from coming to Nicaragua. One potential benefit which derived from this, however, is that now tourists can go there for incredibly cheap prices. 7. Haiti. I don't know if there is another country on Earth whose history I find as interesting as I do Haiti's. The small island nation was colonized by the French during the early colonial period, and then a large number of African slaves were imported to work on sugarcane plantations. Following the American and French revolutions, the slaves of the island used Republican language to justify their own revolution, what the French called a widespread slave revolt. In a tremendous display of racism, no major country acknowledged the government that was formed by the slaves, including the French and American governments that had inspired them. This led to immense problems for the Haitian economy that trouble them up to the present day. 6. South Korea. As I write this entry, our next destination may be becoming more expensive. As tensions between North and South Korea continue to lessen, South Korea becomes less of a risk for wary travelers. This means that more people will want to travel to the Asian country, thus making it more expensive. Luckily for us, Korea is currently so cheap that even a significant increase in the price of living won't stop a trip to South Korea from being incredibly affordable. You can currently get a hotel room in the capital city of Seoul for less than $60 a night.